Hello, this is Waqas Iqbal. Views. Our today video is about IELTS speaking task. IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. To speak on this topic, I have with me Dr. Athar Mansoor, who himself secured the highest 9 band in the IELTS test. Sir, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
Thank you, Vikas. I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good too. Sir, first of all, please tell our viewers that speaking, how challenging it can be for any participant who wants to clear IELTS with a very good band.
Yes. So I think speaking is one of the toughest sections for IELTS test takers across the world. And the data compiled by IELTS examination owners, which are University of Cambridge, British Council, and IDP Australia, shows that for the year 2022, the lowest band across the world was for the speaking component. As you have pointed out, I got 9 band in IELTS speaking, and there were many reasons for securing 9 band. Um, you asked the question that how challenging it can be. Yes, it can be very challenging, and the main cause of it is that English is not our mother tongue. It's not our native, we are not native speakers of English, and that is why we do not converse with each other, whether they are our siblings, relatives, friends, or professional peers. We do not talk to them in English, and that creates a big challenge for IELTS test takers from countries where English is not spoken so frequently. So it can be really challenging, and unless you practice in English while you are talking to each other, you cannot become fluent speakers of English. So this skill of speaking can be really nerve-wracking for IELTS test takers, and especially when they face a human evaluator, they become more nervous, they become anxious, and they become stressed. So I think to summarize my answer to your question is that it is one of the most challenging sections out of the 4 sections of IELTS examination. And the main cause is that we do not converse and we do not practice too much in English while talking to each other. That is why we become really nervous when we are being evaluated by an IELTS examiner.
Sir, I was watching your video short in which you advised that people should develop the habit of thinking in English. But students or participants from Pakistan, India, elsewhere, it is challenging for them to start thinking in English because they have been studying in other medium like Urdu medium or Hindi medium. So, how one can develop the habit of thinking in English, especially when you are from a different language background.
Yes, it is again a challenge to start, uh, thinking in English when you are relating to different words and different phrases and different, things which you come across in your daily life. In my short also, I have tried to explain that when you look at different things, for example, in Hindi and in Urdu, car is gadi is used for the word car, right? So when a person from India or Pakistan is looking at a car, they should not in fact call it gadi in their mind, or should not utter the word gadi from their tongue, but they should start calling it or thinking about it as car, right? So similarly, when you are looking at something, for example, your you can say comb. comb, which is called kangi in Urdu. So don't call it kangi and don't think of it as kangi, but call it as comb in your mind or utter the word comb from your tongue so that you start developing the habit of associating English terms and words to different things and different, for example, nouns or verbs around yourself. So, for example, again, as far as verbs are concerned, if you are going out to play cricket, don't utter the word मैं cricket खेलने जा रहा हूँ or utter the sentence like this from your tongue. Try to, even if you're not uttering the entire sentence, you should start thinking, I am going out to play cricket. So when you start thinking like this, you are not going to find difficulty in, the main challenge is again that because we think in our native language, which is either Hindi, Urdu, Punjabi, Pashto, Tamil, or any other language, it creates challenge for us that when we are translating it into English, we might translate it in a wrong manner. I'll give you another example where people can commit errors. Is Hamari, if you look at, towards the top of the room, you're going to find a chat in Urdu or Hindi. So if you translate it very quickly, you're going to say roof. But the chat from inside is, in fact, not roof, it is ceiling. And the chat from outside, which when you go and stand over it, it's called roof. But in Urdu, they are both known as chat. So when you translate chat into English while talking to your examiner and you do not practice, you will say, I looked at the roof while lying on the bed, but it will be wrong English. You should have said, I looked at the ceiling while lying on the bed. Similarly, aina or aina is a word in Urdu for the mirror in which we in which we look into and see ourselves. So it's also called shisha sometimes in common. It's a common error in Urdu that we call it shisha also. But a transparent glass is also a shisha. So when you are going to translate aina or that commonly misused word shisha, in which you look and get dressed and try to see how you look when you go out, you are going to translate into mirror. You are going to translate into glass maybe or mirror. So and similarly, a glass through which you can look to the other side of the window, you can translate it into mirror, whereas it is glass. So these are commonly, made mistakes by speakers, that when they don't think in English and they don't relate English terms with different actions, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, or nouns, uh, that creates a challenge for them to speak error-free English in front of the evaluator.
So, if I rephrase what you said, one should imagine him or herself somewhere in abroad where all people around used to speak English. So then they may be able to develop thinking habit in English. Am I right, sir?
Yes, yes. So start thinking in English is a habit which you need to develop slowly and gradually.
All
Yes.
right, my last question. There are many people who can speak English softly and fluently, but their diction or their vocab or their speaking style and usage of sentences seems quite basic or simple. But how one can develop speaking expression? Please enlighten our viewers.
Speaking is, as you know, is a skill, and that is why it is being tested in IELTS, like other three skills, which are reading, writing, and listening. So, to become an effective and eloquent and a good speaker of English, you need to first start listening to good English, which means it's an analogy which can be, there's a parallel. You must have never seen a person who is rated as a good writer without he or she being first a good reader, right? So In order to become a good writer, a person needs to be a good and engaging reader first. Similarly, to develop a good expression where you can use appropriate words, vocabulary, grammar, punctuation, your pitch, which you need to develop, you need to become an engaging and effective reader of good literature. You need to become a good listener of professional English. So, if you start listening in an engaging manner to different professional speakers, whether they are newscasters, whether they are talk shows or anything which actually excites you or is of
Anchors,
interest to you.
actors, actresses.
Yes, anything which is of interest to you, you need to listen to that. You need to listen to those people in a very engaging manner so that you absorb things from them and then you start speaking the way they are talking or the way they are speaking. So it's an important tip for IELTS test takers that they must start listening to good English.
So, dear viewers, English will be in, then English will be out. Please do tell us your feedback regarding this video, and we shall be here with the next video. Please do subscribe our channel. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.